Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Harley lovers around the world, welcome back to another episode of the Knockers Up podcast, presented by Sykes Harley-Davidson. For those of you that aren't familiar, Knuckles Up is a dive into the world of all things Harley-Davidson, recorded at the illustrious Sykes H-D, the South Coast's premier destination for all things Harley, nestled in the beautiful Sussex South Downs. As always, I'm Elliot from Sykes Harley-Davidson. I will be your host through this wonderful journey of HD. The Knockers Up podcast usually drops on the last Friday of the month. You can watch and subscribe over on the Sykes H-D YouTube channel, and you can listen wherever you get your podcasts. So we are back for another episode. As I've said, the podcast usually drops on the last Friday of the month. We didn't manage to get one done last month because Christmas is mental, and also I decided it would be a great idea to get the flu just before Christmas. So I was absolute sick note, down in the dumps. But so we've got a filler episode for you for this one. This one's going to be dropping at some point early January. I'm joined once again by the wonderful Mr. Steve Willis, dealer principal and overlord of all things here at Sykes Harley-Davidson. So, as I said, this is filler episode as such. I don't know if it's going to be an official one or if this is just Steve and Elliot waffle on for 45 minutes. But
yeah, sounds like a good title.
Yeah, Steve and Elliot waffle.
The waffle.
The waffle recap. So we're basically just going to have a quick chat about 2023, what we did in 2023. I think it was a tough year across the board, but I think we were pretty good at what we did, and having a quick look at some of the snippets for 2024, what you can expect from Sykes Harley-Davidson. So, I mean, 2023, as mentioned, Steve, it was a bit of a tough year, wasn't it? I mean, across the board. Yeah,
it was. I think it was a challenging year for many reasons. You know, cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
Just the way the world was at the moment. You know. So, you know, it's all about focus. So we came out, we had a good 2023. You know, it
wasn't bad. Yeah, I mean, no. It's all, we always sort of, you know, doom and gloom. 2023 was a tough year, but it wasn't actually all that bad for us, was it?
I think, you know, when a tough get going and go and get stuff and all that sort of thing. And, you know, we always, you know, we have niches that we've talked about. We've got the custom side of the business. You know, we've got, you know, being an independent dealer, being able to make changes to duck and dive and all this sort of thing. So, you know, we could tackle a storm quite well, and we've been here before, and, you know, I'm sure there's other stuff to come. But yeah, all in all, I think 22 was probably a peak in our performance over, you know, the past couple of decades. So 2023 kind of just leveled out a bit. So it wasn't massive doom and gloom. It was just a kind of like a leveler after such a good for us 2022. And 2022 was probably a peak because we invested in the right bikes. You know, we focused on the used bike market in the pre-owned Harley-Davidsons, and we built a reputation on that. And you know, our bikes go around the country, as we've said before. Once they're out, people see what their friends have got. There's chapters, there's all those like networks that say, oh, you know, I like what they've done. Sounded like an easy sell, easy purchase. I'm interested. And suddenly people looking at our 80 plus bikes in stock, they know what we're doing, then perhaps listen to our podcasts, and they buy with confidence. So again, waffling and moving around, but yeah, it wasn't all doom and gloom for us. And, you know, all we're doing now is looking forward to this year. So we've come back.
A big part of what we had last year, I mean, there was the tagline of UK's largest selection of HD certified, approved, used and new bikes, actually, which, you know, we tried to have a different angle, and shout out to West Coast for pulling us up on that. And it's, you know, a healthy rivalry between the dealerships, but that was quite funny, wasn't it?
That was quite funny. I mean, we are number one dealer.
Do we need to get our awards out for West Coast?
We don't need to get a table of awards, but we are number one dealer in new and used motorcycles. You know,
so current stock as well. I mean, for anybody that doesn't know, I mean, the stock in this place is absolutely mental at times. So I think at current count, we are over 100 bikes across new and used in stock. So, you know, by all means, try and find a better selection of new and used Harley-Davidsons anywhere in the UK. But
well, I mean, it's the 2nd of January. I had a customer walk in today with his son. He's like, my boy wants a bike. You know, he's wanting an iron. There's a limited budget. I have a bike for him in his price range. I know where there's one. it's not absolutely perfect, but we will turn that bike out with everything necessarily done. So there is a bike. We have such a diverse range that I can find this guy a 2012 Iron today, and he bought it. And it will go through our workshop, have all the 110 point checks and more.
Yeah.
And, one happy customer from having the stock. But again, it's knowing your stock, isn't it? It's knowing, like, actually, because this bike's not online. This bike's ready to go through the workshop with a list of parts ready to be fitted to the bike to make it Sykes ready. But you know it. So it's an advantage knowing your stock and having years under your belt to say, actually, come and look at this one that's buried out the back.
I mean, second day back into the new year is not bad, off to a bad start.
No, we sold a 48, I think, yesterday to a client in Scotland, and then this is a local guy today. So, yeah, one a day keeps a bailiffs away.
Pretty good going, yeah. I mean, for what is always renowned as being like the toughest month of the year. Everyone's down doom and gloom after the New Year's, new resolutions, stuff like that. But if you make one New Year's resolution, listeners, go and buy a bloody Harley-Davidson.
Yeah, get out there.
Get out there, get
enjoy.
riding. There is never a perfect time to go out and ride. I mean, saying that, it was pretty apocalyptic earlier, so you might need some waterproofs. We can sort you out with that as well. I
think what's good at this time of year is people are visiting the store who are loyal customers or just passing by. I mean, we just had a couple come down from Oxford.
Yeah,
that's a 2.5 hour drive to have a look around Sykes. We both spoke to them.
Yeah.
They're a pleasure. They're a lovely couple. And they came down and they got the VIP tour. I took them access all areas. They're in here. They saw this desk and where we're sitting now. But, what have I enjoyed about today, they've come in, some other people have come in, and we've talked about what you're doing, where you're going, what's happening, what you booked. These guys have booked a massive trip to Spain and then coming across to Italy and back to France and through the mountains. I'm getting excited. They're getting excited talking about it. And the guy who brought his son and I in this morning talking about Route 66, and we're talking about 115th anniversary I was lucky enough to do with Gary. We rode from LA to right across to Vegas and Colorado mountains and Nebraska or whatever, all the way through in 4 days to Milwaukee. What a trip. And I'm talking about it saying, you've got to do it. It's on your bucket list. Have you done it? And yeah, today was fun because you've got all these people, and that's what this is about. You'd say, get a bike, get out, get a ride.
Well, it's inspiring the ride, isn't it? Yeah. That's what I think is that trigger for a lot of people. Some people might be like, wait until like start to warm. It's like, just get out there, go and have some fun.
You need plans.
Yeah.
I need plans. As a person, I need to know what I'm doing or it will pass me by. And I was going to do that back then, but now it's gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to make plans this year. There's so much to look forward to. I mean, I was lucky enough to do Budapest last year. The ride down there in horrendous weather, which I'm sure a lot of people listening experience as well. But
you diverted to get away from it, and you got hit literally by all of it, didn't you?
But it never. I'm not sitting here going, oh, never again. I'll never do that again, because it was so bad. It was good because it was exciting.
It becomes memorable, doesn't it? Like you said, it's perseverance, that sense of endurance. I mean, 120 years of Harley-Davidson was the big thing last year for us, wasn't it? I mean, we saw some great models released at the start of the year. We are going to be seeing, hopefully, some great models released again coming later on this month. Yeah. But that was a big part of last year. 120 years of Harley-Davidson. I think, across the board, we saw limited edition bikes. We saw some great clothing editions, some great accessory editions, things like that. And
some great parties.
Yep, some great parties. I mean, Budapest was, phenomenal one, I think, for the people that went out there. Milwaukee as well, the big one. I mean, if anybody knows how to throw a party, it's Harley-Davidson, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that was Green Day and the Foo Fighters last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, not a bad lineup. That's
pretty,
big bands.
Pretty big.
Pretty iconic.
Pretty rock and roll, wasn't it?
In the heart of Milwaukee, the heart of Harley, as it sits. So I think it was a great year for Harley across the board. I mean, we did some pretty cool stuff as well. Going back through some of the events that we did last year.
Yeah, we had listed them the other day.
Yeah. So we actually did our sort of, I guess, corporate kind of recap as far as what we did.
Big board meeting.
Yeah, prim and proper with lots of PowerPoints and numbers and data and analytics.
It's good. It was great to reflect on it because time passes and can't remember if that was this year or last year that you did it, or the year before. I mean, it was quite a respectable list of events, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, so I think we did upwards of like 25 odd events at the dealership, and that didn't include everything else that we did from kind of like conquest, outreach, taking the brand out there. You know, we kicked off the start of the year, I think 18th of January with 120th anniversary launch, which was, you know, great. I think a great showing from the motor company to really set themselves, I think, at pace for the year. And I think for me, I love that about Harley-Davidson. It's not, you know, straight into it at the start of the year, but a couple of weeks into the year and it's like, right, hit the ground running, new models, new colorways, new introductions into the lineup. And I mean, it gets me excited just thinking about it now. And obviously based on the premise of what we had last year, I think year on year, like the impact of what Harley-Davidson is doing is second to none. You know, that impact of what we get from a brand perspective and what we get to do kind of on the grassroots level as well, to take the brand out there and to push ourselves as well. I mean, so just having a quick scan back through some of the events, we did RevMax Breakfast Club in February. We did demo days with all the 23 models when we got them in. We had our season opener towards the end of March. 120th anniversary open house. Then we went into peak summertime. We did Eastbourne Bike Nights. We had a used bike showcase. You know, we had our own homecoming party in June. We had our big weekend, which was a massive event for us in July. You know, month on month, we were out there. There was always something to do at Sykes. There was, you know, different reasons to come on down, whether that was demos, whether it was like new bikes, you know, bringing the community together. And I think that was a big part of what we did last year.
I think we've done really well. I mean, I think a dealership should always be a place to visit, hang out, and with our, you know, Sykes bites and the food that we have and the facilities, we're on a like over 2 acre site. It is a great destination. We are in the middle of nowhere. We're next to a goat's farm, but it's an enjoyable ride to get here. And then you've got, when you're here, there's lots going on. You know, we've got the showroom, we've got the workshop to have a look around if you want to come in and have a look around. Then we've got this facility down the bottom of our yards, which is the warehouse. So yeah, it's got a destination dealership is definitely what we are. The community is what we embrace with our own chapter and other chapters. Like this couple from Oxford said, "Oh, we might have a chapter ride down." I said, "By all means, but let us know so we can host you." You know, we can
that's it. Like always happy to accommodate. I mean, you know, I guess going back to like the big weekend, we had New Forest chapter. Shout out to Vicky and the crew from Sherwood coming down. I mean. You know, that made that weekend for us. And like, what a way to be able to, you know, showcase Sykes as a whole, that community side of stuff. I mean, hundreds of people here over that weekend was, I mean, you think to yourself, you know, 2 acres is a lot of space, and it's not until you fill it, you're like, yeah, we need more space down there, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, we have to have overflow parking just up the road.
We need another 2 acres.
And stuff, but yeah, we could easily use that. And then the community, we, you know, we've got the Rev Max out, we've got the Pan America out, Sportster S out, the Nightster out. And we're embracing the Pan America community. You know, we look at that and the syndicate that we've, you know, formed, you know, it's early days and we probably didn't pick up the pace we wanted to because of everything else going on. But, you know, with this year and looking forward, you know, Craig Moyer, he's one of our sales guys, Pan America lover, specialist, got one, rides one, rode back from the tip of, you know, Scotland to home.
Well, that was it. I think he's a great ambassador for the Pan America as a whole, and it's interesting. I actually posted a photo on our social media the other day of actually Craig's bike sat in a green lane down the road from the dealership. And there was a couple of people being like, yeah, you've probably just brought that in off a truck. But luckily, I had a photo of Craig riding his bike down that road. And it's like, look, you know, it goes to show, I guess, you know, the capabilities of that. But what we do from a community perspective as well, we're always transparent, we're always open. You know, there's no smoke and mirrors here at Sykes. And I think that is, I guess, sort of part of what we do. We've got the transparency. If you want to come down and have a look, you know, the door's always open. The coffee machine's always on. You can come down and have a look at the bikes. You can come down and have a look at the workshop. You chat to everyone, whether it's me or Steve or Craig, whoever that may be. And I think that's something that we really built on through 2023. Yeah. Previous years, you know, we have been, I think, quite transparent as a dealership. I'll be starting my 3rd year here as of this year. So
already,
excuse me for coughing. This is the lingering parts of my flu. But, you know, I think that's kind of it. being able to build ourselves up as a community dealership where it's a destination, it's where people want to go to. And I think that really became quite prominent through 2023 of everything that we were doing.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, inviting people down, having different events, taking the dealership out there with Eastbourne bike nights and things like that.
And they were phenomenal, weren't it? 400 plus bikes.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, it was actually, you know,
working with the council.
Yeah.
Fully embracing of us. You know, invite us to use the town centre, close the roads.
Yeah.
What else you want?
And it was anybody and everybody was welcome. We had all sorts of stuff turn up. I think there were like everything from like monkey bikes to mopeds to Hayabusas, and obviously a lot of Harleys at the same time.
A lot of young people on small bikes, which was great.
Yeah, and that's kind of it. I think, you know, bringing the community together through motorcycles. Yes, we are a Harley-Davidson dealership, but it's what kind of ties us, I guess, all together. I'm sure probably some people are going to pull me up being like, oh, a Honda person's not going to be the same as a Harley-Davidson.
Still a motorcycle rider.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a motocross rider and I work at a Harley-Davidson dealership, so, you know, anything is possible, right?
Yeah.
So moving on to 2024, there's obviously an entire year ahead of us. We don't want to divulge too much into what's coming up, but there are some pretty exciting things in the cards, right?
Yeah.
How much do you want to give away? Do you want to give snippets away? Do you want to?
Well, I should think we should talk about London.
So yeah, next month, MCN London, we will be there. We will be there with our good friends Bobhead, which actually there is an episode with the Bobhead boys coming up at the end of January, which is a really, really cool one. We had the guys down just before Christmas time, before I got the flu, but we were, you know, lucky enough to sit down with Damo, Seb and the old man at one point as well. It's quite a funny one. There are a couple of swear words. There's a lot of northern chat that we might have to translate as well. Again, apologies, guys, if you're listening to this one. It's the same joke I made in the Bobhead podcast. So that'll be coming up at the end of the month. So 16th to the 18th, XL in London. We will be there. We will be there with quite a...
And our best is from Image Design Custom as well.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to the guys at Image Design Custom. So between us, Image Design Custom and Bobhead, we're going to be a sort of three-way branded stand together, you know, building ourselves up as far as like the collaborations that we have across different brands and showcasing some really exciting stuff, which... I mean, it's a motorcycle show, so for, you know, the smarter people amongst you can probably figure out what we might be taking across to the show.
Well, Harley-Davidson are there this year. Harley-Davidson UK are bringing their big stand, hopefully. And, you know, they've asked if we can supply some custom bikes to help with the customer engagement. So hopefully we're not going to be too far from them. We will be representing Speed and Custom, custom wing of the business. Hoping to bring 3 or 4 custom built bikes along that will be available. We're building them for the show.
So if you want to see those bikes, you're going to have to come down and see us at MCN London.
And it's quite worrying at the same time. We are running around a little as we speak.
How can we get custom bikes built in, I mean, what do we say, 5 weeks pretty much?
Let's just say I'll be doing some early runs to Image Design. Bribing powder coaters and so on and so forth. But yeah, I'm confident we could do it, and obviously we want to turn out some special bikes to represent what we do.
Yeah, that's going to be a big thing. I think going back to some of the previous podcasts that we had, especially talking with Rob about some of the customization, the performance aspect side of things, you know, that's what we're trying to do with Speed and Custom moving forwards, isn't it?
I mean, it's ramped, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about, you know, it's all about passion, isn't it? And you can, you know, if you talk passionate about something, you're selling it even if you're not selling it. You see what I mean? Well,
passion breeds passion at the end of the day, and that's kind of it. I mean, part of Sykes is just the passion of everybody that's here, right?
I was walking with someone around, the couple around earlier, and I said, oh, this bike's going on, this is having a Thunderbike kit on, and Joey's doing this at the moment, and this is Rob, and Rob's building this 131 kit on this Road King, and the guys having different bars and stuff. And I said, did you watch our podcast? And he goes, no, but I will check it out. And I went back to the Bang for Your Buck, and the cam chat that Rob had with you, and I was really engaged in that. I said at the time, I want to stick a cam in my bike, you know, and it was great. And then as a team, just talking about, you know, what makes us different, how we can, you know, reach out to customers. We did the cam promotion, we did the Olin's promotion, and we've done some performance promotions, and they've been, they've made us busy over winter. I mean, done more cams than I've got fingers. And
I mean, there's not even any cams left in the UK, is there? Because
no,
we ordered them.
Yeah,
all.
exactly. Yeah.
Sorry to any other Harley dealers out there looking for cam upgrades.
Yeah, the performance side is another niche that we need to promote more. That we do performance, custom, paintwork.
Well, that's it.
The one-stop shop.
Going back to kind of the cost of living crisis, it's like not everybody has got disposable income to buy new bikes, but that's not to say that you can't be able to ramp up what your current bike is. And it's like adding a new lease of life to what is already, probably your pride and joy, but a bit more horsepower, a bit more torque, creating something that is just reinvigorated to then really drive that passion of what made you buy that bike in the first place.
We did this before. I forget when the recession was, but it was about 2012 or something like that. Yeah. And, the gap of moving from your bike, say, to a new bike was too big.
Yeah. And
what are you getting for that? You're getting a newer model, the same a lot of times, but with different paint. So we would do this like refurbishment. I always said you don't change your house if it's getting a bit tired. Put new carpets and paint on the wall. So we were doing the carpets and paint on bikes, and I think that's where we are a little bit now. Again, that's gone a bit of a full circle where the gap sometimes is quite significant. Your bike is well looked after because you love it. It's got the components you want, but you're just a little bit bored. Most of us change because we're a little bit bored, don't we? We've been in this room forever. We want to change the colour. Same with bikes. So we offer that program of refurbishments, and we've just put Gary, our parts manager, ex-parts manager. Gary,
he's not been sacked, by the way. He is still here.
We're going to do a podcast with him, actually, aren't we? About
we are.
But he's been here over 20 years. He was parts manager, but because he was quoting on parts, he would then have those parts fitted and be the manager of that project. So it made sense to move him across to custom lead. So he's now our custom leader, if you like. So consultations, not a problem. Work on quotations,
that's not a problem
as
well, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, being ingrained with parts for so long, you've got to know the ins and outs of what's available.
He was counting the sleeps to start this year. I guarantee it, because it's such a cool job.
And that's a big change, I guess, for us, going into 2024 is like changing the team dynamic slightly to actually improve what the customer journey is. So, understanding kind of where not holes are in the team as such, but actually playing to our strengths across the board. And that's what we've done by moving Gary into a more custom focused area.
We're independent. We have the ability to adapt and make changes without, going to the board or whatever.
And that's the advantage from a customer facing perspective, is that you're actually getting, I guess, more bang for your buck now from us, a more cohesive offering, whether that be from parts to custom, anything really that you need from us from a customer perspective, we've got that ability to be able to work with you. So whether it is custom, whether it's just parts upgrades, whether you're looking to do, the carpet and paint, like you've just said, like we can do it all. So if you're thinking about stuff like that for 2024, by all means, please reach out to us. We're always here and more than happy to chat about different custom stuff, whether that be changing something that you've got, maybe that's an upgrade, whether that's more performance, whatever it may be, we're always here and more than happy to chat. And I think that's going to be a big prominent part of what we're doing in 2024, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Lots of cool stuff.
Very cool stuff. Yeah. Yeah. It is exciting to come back. We're just waiting for this horrible weather to go. We want to get our bikes out the front. We want to look like we're open, but it's been torrential rain ever since.
But still great weather for a Pan America. And you can get waterproofs as well. So, dry January. Our version of dry January is staying dry.
There's no such thing about bad weather.
No, it's just bad
clothing, bad preparation.
Bad riders?
Yeah. But, it's a lot exciting. So to London's going to be exciting.
Yeah, big one for us.
I think the stand will represent us well. We've done it well, but we've done it before, but now we're sort of working as a team. We should be represented how we are, sort of at a higher level. And like you say, Bob will be down there, image design will be there, our bikes will be there, and we'll have a team with Gary and Jordan and myself and Carolina to talk. Sensible custom. Probably give you a quote on the day and all that sort of thing if necessary. But because we're into it. It's more than just a job,
What is it? You love the job you do and you never work a day in your life, right? Is that the quote?
Yeah, 100%.
So definitely some exciting stuff coming up. I mean, we don't want to divulge too much, But MCN, big one for us next month. I mean, we're going to have some really exciting projects coming up. More from the podcast as well. So we're going to be bringing more people in, more staff. We're going to try and reach out to other people as well to showcase a bit more of what the Sykes offering is across the board. But I think, safe to say an exciting year ahead. I don't know if we've summarised that or recapped 2023. Have we just done 25, 30 minutes of waffling on? But
we've definitely waffled, but I think it's there. The passion is there to, like, even though you've just got a year behind you, you've had a 1 week gap or whatever, and then you come back rejuvenated. It's like, what have you been on? I want some of that sort of thing. And
well, that's it. I mean, we're literally, we're not hitting the ground running. We're hitting the ground sprinting. I mean, our little legs are barely able to keep
Trouble is, we don't know what direction to sprint in, so we're like
just run in every direction.
Oh no, I need to do that first, and
we'll let Steve just keep continually running into walls, and then the rest of us will try and retain a bit of focus. Right?
Exactly.
So, as always, I mean, if you want to stay up to date with everything here at Sykes Harley-Davidson, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram. You can sign up to our newsletter over on our website. If you go to sykeshd.com, you should get prompted a little sign up. That will allow you to stay in touch with us. We do regular updates of all our newest stock. So you can kind of see the latest additions to the UK's largest selection of HD certified previews and new bikes. So yeah, I think exciting stuff to come along. I mean, plenty to talk about probably in future episodes of the podcast, but I think was that a recap enough?
Yeah.
Did we actually cover anything other than us just waffling for 25 minutes? Is this going to be enough of a podcast episode for people to stay subscribed?
I would hope so. and stay tuned, because we've talked about the Pan America podcast that we're going to do with Craig and the journeys he's been on and on the road ahead. We're going to talk to Gary, aren't we? About customization and where to start.
So this isn't a full podcast episode. This is, I guess, the proverbial filler, the mince pie.
The intro
before,
of the
this
real
is
things.
your mince pie before your main course that comes with the next episode at the end of the month. Like I say, with
you
the
have a mince
guys.
pie before main course.
I don't know. I just thought of a little snack. Okay,
This
well,
is a
let us
prawn
know,
cocktail
listeners. Is it a
before,
prawn? Okay, I'm still in
before
Christmas
your steak dinner.
Prawn cocktail and steak dinner. Do you not have surf and turf though?
No.
Now we're waffling. Right. I think we're going to close that episode up, ladies and gentlemen. And look, we didn't even have to do a camera reset break. How efficient are we with this one?
That's 27 minutes.
I know. I'm going to have to wrap this up before the camera actually dies. So, as always, everybody, let me just get my script up again so I can obviously be prim, proper, and well executed as ever. That's, as I say, going to be a wrap up for this brief recap waffle episode, whatever you might want to call it. As always, we'd
It's
love
got to be called the waffle.
Just the waffle. It's not an episode. It's filler. It's the, what did we say? The prawn cocktail episode.
Yeah.
The prawn cocktail waffle episode. So as always, we'd love to hear from you guys what you would like to see from us this year, what you've thought about previous episodes. As always, reach out. We're always here and more than happy to chat. As mentioned, the Knuckles Up podcast usually drops new episodes on the last Friday of the month. You can watch and subscribe over on the Sykes H-D YouTube channel. And you can listen wherever you get your podcast. I'm really trying to stifle a cough at the moment. Don't get the flu, kids. It's really not nice. As always, everybody, thank you so much for listening. We will see you, of course, in the next episode. Thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.
Thank you.